good, YouTube? Today we're gonna be looking at the anime that created a murder in Japan. I'm sorry, but if an anime is causing you to murder people, you need help. Without further ado, let's get started.
On October 22, 2018,
what happened?
The first episode of a sports anime called Tsurune aired.
Let me find out y'all are going crazy over a sports anime. Buddy, keep the violence in the sports, not in person.
On television. People from all over Japan become quick fans of this show. It is about a young man who loses his passion for archery. Episode 5 airs on television, and there's a particular scene that plays for about 2 minutes and 25 seconds that you can easily find on YouTube. The scene features two of the characters that go into a grocery store buying discounted meat. In the grand scale of the story, this scene doesn't really particularly play a big part in it and can be easily forgotten by most casual users. However, if you do manage to find this on YouTube, the first comment that you'll probably see is that this tends to be the darkest.
So choosing between beef and pork is dark? I'm sorry. Beef easily next. I don't even eat pork, but you can never fail with beef. I don't even know why this was a scene to be discussed.
Scene in anime. And they were right. Little would anyone have known while watching this episode that 8 months later after its release, this simple 2-minute and 25-second innocent scene would have been the catalyst for the anime industry's darkest moment in its entire history. And in Japan's modern history.
Alright. Yo, if somebody was touched deeply by that scene between pork and beef, you need help. There is no reason why you should be going psycho because your character chose a different type of meat. 8 months after episode 5 airs on television. 8 months. A viewer of the show sets fire to the... Because of what? Because your character chose the wrong meat? What? What did the animation studio do? Oh. Wow. Okay, I thought it was gonna be like a little forest fire, you know? How big was the animation studio? I hope they're safe. The perpetrator died to all the staff. What did he have? A Molotov? While pouring gasoline on the... Wow! Oh, okay. Kyoto animation becomes target to the worst mass murder in Japan's modern history. Dude, it's just an anime. It's not even an actual show. These are drawings. There's no way you're this touched by animation for your ass to be doing all of this. And how does that work? Like, as he was like lighting them, why were none of them able to move unless he tied them up? I hope they're good. Yeah, that's GG's. Wow. The smoke was way worse.
Hey friends, Taki Dears, and today I wanted to discuss something about an event that I'm sure many of us remember from 2019.
What happened?
A very famous animation studio, Kyoto Animation, which is responsible for many anime films and anime series that...
Why'd you have to do that to them? Look at that anime. This is beautiful. Look at the drawing.
We all know and love, was unfortunately victims at the hands of a man named Shinji Aoba, who was an arson...
Imagine finding out your favorite animation studio got burnt down to crisp because of a man that's built like Big Hero 6. Like, the resemblance here is damn near uncanny.
That went into the studio, poured gasoline, and took the lives of over 36 of its staff members, making this one of, if not the worst mass murder in not only the anime industry, but in Japan's modern history.
Killed mostly women. Yo, bro, what is wrong with you? Get a life.
Now, again, this happened in 2019, and many of you may be wondering, why am I making a video about it so many years later? That is because as of January 2025, this year, this chapter has been officially closed due to some updates, and I figured that now that it's officially closed, that I explain some things that I was researching of the motivation behind the attack up to what was going on behind the scenes, and some conversations that were going...
And then I'm just thinking about the survivors going through all that fire, inhaling all of that bad oxygen and actually having those like second, third degree burns. It can't be no way to truly survive.
On between the arsonist and some people that were around the case. So let's just go into the very beginning with Shinji Aoba and what drove him to do what he did. So Shinji Aoba was a crazed otaku who was...
Yeah, we can tell. I can tell by his build. He probably doesn't do anything but watch anime. I don't even think he goes outside. Maybe if he went outside, he wouldn't have been that mad at the world. but because your whole life is surrounded by seeing anime characters, then that's all you are.
Obsessed
a loser.
with anime. And he submitted a novel to a competition that is run by Kyoto Animation, where they look for several people all around Japan to submit novels and to submit ideas that could potentially be part of their projects, whether it be anime series or films.
So you're just mad you just didn't have a good idea. Like, come on, bro. You're mad that your plot was a little too predictable.
And according to Shinji Aoba, he decided to submit his novel into this competition.
Okay.
Now, cut to, an anime comes out called Tsurune, and I personally have never seen this anime, but there's apparently a scene that is about 2 minutes and 25 seconds long where there are two characters at a grocery store buying discounted meat. Now, when I first saw this scene, to be honest, there's not really anything in this scene that stuck out to me. It's really just two kids that are buying discounted meat, and it's a very basic kind of conversation that doesn't last very long in the anime, and it's actually...
This scene got me looking at the meat like, is it meat? Is it human meat? Like, what's going on? It looks pretty innocent.
Actually very forgettable. But unfortunately, the man Shinji Aoba would disagree heavily. He was convinced that this specific scene was taken from his anime, which infuriated him so much that he wanted to take out his frustrations and resentment on Kyoto Animation.
So you murdered more than 30 people because of a scene where they decide to choose between beef and pork. Like, did you think that one scene was gonna have everyone like, oh my goodness, this scene is the greatest thing. This is better than Naruto versus Sasuke. Oh my goodness, we love this. That is filler. Nobody cares about that scene. Even if it was taken from you, no one is looking at that scene like it deserves some sort of like Grammy.
And everyone in it. Now, this next part will go into the graphic detail of what happens. Aoba buys 40 liters of gasoline from a gas station a few days before the attack. He rents a car to transport the gasoline in 2 large containers.
Imagine just willing to just sacrifice your life because of a single anime scene. Like, you're willing to murder everyone just for a scene that depicts 2 people choosing meat. Is that not just a little insane?
He bought lighters and kitchen knives, which were possibly used for self-defense or further attacks. Now, around 10:30 a.m., on July 18th, 2019, Aoba arrived at Kyoto Animation Studio 1. He forced his way through the front entrance where many employees were working. Upon entering, he shouted the word "die" and started pouring gasoline around the lobby. Aoba ignited the gasoline using a lighter. The gasoline vaporized rapidly, causing a fireball explosion and engulfed the entire first floor almost instantly.
And it even got your dumbass. You didn't even check yourself to see if you were safe. I'm glad it got you though.
The fire spread up the stairwell due to the chimney effect, trapping many employees on the upper floors. Many employees tried to run upstairs but got trapped due to the rapid spread of fire and smoke. 36 people lost their lives,
R.I.P.
with many found near the stairwells and windows where they had tried to escape. 33 others were injured, including severe burns and respiratory injuries. Aoba himself suffered 3rd-degree burns but survived. Some people who were near the back exit managed to escape before—
Why did he gotta survive, bro? Like, honestly, did the burns even do anything to you? You were already pretty tough before. If anything, the burns makes you look like just a different version of yourself.
the fire blocked the way. Those on higher floors attempted to break windows and jump, while others collapsed from smoke inhalation. Only a few employees survived on the 3rd floor by reaching the rooftop, but the fire consumed most of the building before others could escape. Aoba was—
The scenario of needing to jump out of a building because it's burning is one of the most scariest things to think of. Like, imagine knowing that you look back and boom, like everything is hot, the smoke is insane, and then you look to the front of you and it's like, it damn near looks like a death sentence. I'm glad that there were survivors.
was arrested after months of medical treatment and later sentenced to death in January 2024. Kyoto Animation lost decades of talented animators, including industry veterans and young rising stars. The studio later rebuilt.
And it's like none of their fault. Like, if you really think about it, they were just told what to animate. So for you to take it out on the animators make no sense.
And continued producing anime, honoring those who lost their lives. Now, during the investigation, one of the most interesting things that happened through this was that Kyoto Animation was looking through their submissions for the competition, and turned out that Shinji Aoba never actually submitted his novel.
Yeah, just like I figured. He's actually just mentally insane. I think maybe he lost a couple brain cells in the fire. I think some of the fire burnt his cells and now he's like super slow. So you did all of that for nothing.
Into the competition, leading a lot of the people from Kyoto Animation wondering, how did he make this claim that we took his idea if his idea was never submitted in the first place.
And even if it was submitted, would that have been a valid excuse to do so?
Which led to detectives kind of determining that he was just stuck in his own delusions and somehow convinced himself that Kyoto Animation stole his idea anyway and thought that this was worth taking people's lives over. Also, in 2020, Kyoto Animation made a statement regarding the writing contest and how it would be put off for the time being. Since then, there hasn't been any signs that it's going to be held again. However,
honestly, don't do it. It's really not worth it. I feel like it's gonna trigger some trauma just because of the simple fact that one person messed it up.
Kyoto Animation still has a comic contest for their fans to still participate in. Now again, this is a very long and drawn out trial due to also the treatment for Shinji Aoba's wounds, and during this, it actually turns out that there were some private conversations between him and the doctor who was treating him that I kind of wanted to read out to you guys.
ちょっと嫌な気はしましたけど、もしかしたらと思ったら、
Damn, you shouldn't have. This reminds me of, if anyone watched the anime Monster, if you know Dr. Tenma, this reminds me of that. Matter of fact, and if you're gonna heal him, use like the worst medicine you have. Use like the throwaways. Use reused bandages.
やっぱりそうだった。犠牲になられた方、それとご家族と被害に遭われた方とそのご家族のためには、まあ死に逃げさせてはいけないっていう、もうその思いが強くて、もう絶対容疑者を死なしちゃいけない。
Valid.
まあもうそれだけです。
Aoba underwent multiple skin graft surgeries and under treatment for around 4 months. Dr. Ueda visited him every few months for treatments.
Imagine doing all of that just to get a death sentence. Like, you lived through all that pain, and then they're like, 4-month procedure, but guess what? You're gone. And I just know every person that visited his room, all the nurses, everyone just despised him. They probably like grabbed his burn marks just to like make sure that he's healing, but not fast enough.
Unlike in the hospital, however, Ueda was unable to have even simple conversations with Aoba in the detention center.
He's better than me, because you know what I would have done? I would have probably put some salt on his skin, probably put some like alcohol wipes in it, make sure that it burns.
Where officers accompanied him. As the trial was set to begin, Dr. Ueda told Aoba something he had really wanted to say. You may face harsh and difficult things ahead, but don't look away. Face them. Aoba didn't give a clear response. The trial then...
I love how like the judge court drawing for this looks like this. What happened to this man's fingers, bro? You look like you're being mutated into something. What is wrong with your fingers, bro?
Begins in September. While treating the patient, Dr. Ueda could not directly ask him about the incident, but he now understands why Aoba said during the treatment, quote, "I'm not worthy of living. Have you ever been betrayed? Taking lives is absolutely unforgivable, even if you were betrayed." Now, the following that you're about to hear is a conversation between Shinji Aoba and the families of the victims during the trial. I am the mother of a female employee who died. There's something I want to confirm once more. When you poured gasoline, 2 female employees said, What? There's no mistake about that. One of the female employees you saw is likely my daughter.
Damn.
You poured gasoline all over the place. But did you see whether it got on the 2 women? No, I did not.
Like, look at his face. One of his eyes don't even work.
You poured it with such force that it splashed on surrounding employees.
Wow.
I think it probably did.
Wow.
When you shouted, "Die," were you addressing all the employees, including my daughter? That is correct.
How could you say that like so normally and so cold-blooded?
My daughter, who burned to
R.I.P.
death, had just joined the company and was assigned to Studio One in June, only a month before the incident. She joined after the anime you claimed was plagiarized was already created. Did you ever consider that employees like her would be there? I'm sorry, I didn't think that far ahead. Aoba believed that he was interacting with a female director at Kyoto Anime.
Wow, that's actually so deep. R.I.P. to her daughter. What do you mean? Oh, I didn't think that far. I don't even think you thought at all. For you to assume that anyone that's working there has any association to what you feel like was your work. That wasn't even submitted.
Through an anonymous message board on 2chan, and he developed a one-sided romantic attachment to her. However, after being mocked on the board as a rapist by the supposed female director, he became reckless and further claimed that despite his novel being rejected from the Kyoto Animation Awards, the company and the female director had stolen his ideas, which led him to commit the crime. You mentioned hesitating before committing the crime, and
yo, whoever made the drawings for this, I want to appreciate you for making this man look like Jabba the Hutt. Like, I'm glad he looks this chopped. Seeing him with these bald spots and the saggy ass skin is making me happy.
feeling pains of conscience. Did you not think about the victims at all? My mind was entirely consumed with my own 10 years of suffering. I didn't have the mental space to consider the victims. What exactly do you mean by pangs of conscience? Since I was going to do something of the scale, naturally, significant people were going to die.
For what?
Did you ever consider things from the victim's perspective? Let me ask you in return. When someone steals from you, do you stop to consider them? Right now, you are not in—
Well, yes, if the person that stole something from me has a gun, or the person that stole something from me is like a child, I'm gonna consider that.
in a position to ask questions. I was called a rapist. Does Kyoto Animation not feel anything about that? Before your 2012 convenience store robbery, you considered— What did you mean in your online post when you wrote about, quote, disappearing? It meant cutting all human ties and starting over somewhere else.
Huh?
That was never an option for you before you committed this crime? Are you telling me to hurry up and die?
Yes. You know what? Yes.
Did you truly have those feelings inside of you? I must have, or else I wouldn't have written that. Yet, instead of disappearing, you committed the crime. Does that mean your grudge against Kyoto Animation was stronger? I believe I did my best to prevent the worst case scenario.
And what is that?
Why did you think you could win the Kyoto Animation Award by submitting your novel? Someone who seemed like a top editor on 2chan responded with, quote, I've seen something amazing, and even asked how I would use the prize money.
I'm assuming this is equivalent to like Reddit. So just because one person commented on how good your anime was, you got big-headed? I mean, I could tell you got big-headed, but that's not how the world works. And number two, there is a lot of popular anime that's garbage. And you will see people murdering others about it.
That made me believe I would win. Did you ever consider that work might not be good enough? No, I didn't. How did you feel when no one read your work on a novel submission site? It's not about whether the work is good enough. On those sites, gaining views depends on having a fan base and building connections with them, rather than creating something high quality. You were an experienced 2chan user. Did you know that that platform has a lot of impersonators? Yes, I used to use it. You said you were certain that the female director was personally responding to you. Did you ever suspect that it was just an impersonator tricking you? On 2chan, there's a term called trolling. When you accuse someone directly, they tend to dismiss it if they're a real person. Since she responded in that manner, I was sure it was her. I think it's quite clear to everyone who heard this trial that Aoba's sympathy extended the length of a teaspoon.
怒られたとかっていうような言葉も使ってたような、自分が悪いんじゃなくて、なんかこう被害者的なものの言い方をしてたように聞こえました。
Even after taking so many lives from Kyoto Animation and hearing the families, Aoba remained convinced that he was still in the right and the victim in all of this. Now, on a separate article, I wanted to read—
At the very least, I feel like you should own up to your mistakes and realize how stupid you were. Because at the end of the day, you are going to be sentenced to death. So for you to still hold a grudge that much in your head, acting like you had the greatest anime when clearly it was garbage, you're so deluded.
the apology that was read by Shinji Aoba in court. I can only say, I'm sorry. I take the incident seriously. But to be honest,
Did you?
I can't deny that I often turn a blind eye to the magnitude of what I did. I think I should pay for my crime.
Hell yes. You don't think that. Know it.
Now, at this point, it's 2023, and reading that apology, it doesn't sound like that Shinji Aoba at this point was really accepting what he did fully. It didn't really seem like he was grasping the magnitude of what he did. I think a lot of that probably is thanks to the doctor pushing him. It might have been very possible that Shinji Aoba would have not given any sort of apology at all. Before setting the animation studio on fire, Aoba had apparently hesitated, wondering whether he should proceed with the attack. Ueda imagines Aoba must have reached to that fateful day while bottling up his worries. Now, the following is the last thing that the doctor says with Shinji Aoba. What if I had told you not to commit the crime? The doctor asks during treatment. Aoba then replies, I don't think I would have done it.
So everything would have changed if a doctor told you not to do it. How does your mind work to be swayed so easily?
京都アニメーション放火殺人事件の裁判で京都地裁は先ほど青葉真司被告に対し死刑判決を言い渡しました。
Shinji Aoba, at 46 years old, was sentenced to death in January 2024
All that healing from them burn marks just to go right back. Like, damn.
by the Kyoto District Court as
GGs.
sought out by the prosecution. He was convicted of murdering 36 people and attempting to murder 34 others in the arson attack at the studio in
RIP.
Kyoto on July 2019. However, immediately, Shinji Aoba's legal team decided to push back and request for the judge to reconsider, claiming Shinji Aoba as insane and not in the right frame of mind.
Man, I don't care if you're insane, your membrane, you're Harry Kane. At the end of the day, you do something as atrocious as that, you gotta go, right? It's not fair to the families that this person is alive or like, you know, not getting the punishment that he deserves.
During the attack. This added over a year's worth of more tedious and scheduled trials.
1 year later, withdraws his appeal for the death sentence, thus accepting his fate. Better. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know why his lawyers wanted to like go up to the judges. Like, even if I was representing him, I would have been like, let's admit it, y'all. He deserves to go. I'm not representing someone that terrible. Sayonara. Get your ass gone, boy. His reason for drawings we're drawing was never disclosed. Maybe because he's just Delulu. Crazy.
Now let's go back to what the doctor said to Shinji Aoba in private. He said, "You may face harsh and difficult things ahead, but don't look away. Face them." Would you say that the doctor's words might have gotten to Shinji Aoba? That maybe he's taking some sort of responsibility 100%. By accepting the death penalty and getting...
If he told the doctor that he wouldn't have done it, if the doctor told him not to do it, then he's 100% swayed by the doctor.
What he deserves. If this doctor really could have affected Shinji Aoba to accept the death penalty, who's to say that maybe in a different time or a different life with the right person, somebody else could have convinced Shinji Aoba to not do what he did and commit this heinous crime. I'm really glad that justice actually was served here. And as for the victims' families, I really do hope that they have found some peace in this world through all of this. And I also praise Kyoto Animation 100%. That they've managed to come back from all of this and stand up on their own 2 feet, still giving us some really great anime. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to check out some more content like this, I have made a few videos about true crime and other dark parts about Japan. If you guys want to check that on my channel. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Great video. Make sure y'all check her out. Anyways, YouTube, that is the anime that created a murder in Japan. Let me know what you guys think. Did he receive the righteous punishment? Let me know of any weird stories you know of people that are too deep into anime. I love anime. I think anime is for everyone. It's very chill, and I remember people used to get bullied for watching anime, and now it's like popular. But I will say, it's people like this that give anime watchers a weird rep. Don't be like this. If you're gonna be an anime watcher, be casual and don't let it be your personality, please. For the love of God, like anime, don't become anime. Make sure you guys subscribe, bro, to 800K likes for life. Love y'all.